Ryan from Podcast Principles coming at you today. Once again, today, this topic is a fun one. How to launch a podcast with no money. That means zip, zero, nada. Got a lot of ideas here for you, and we're going to just jump into it. So let's get started. Just to zoom out for a second, podcasts have been exploding. We've explored this in all of our other videos when it comes to why 70% of podcasts fail, how less podcasts are being launched now, but more people are listening to podcasts, which creates an opportunity for you. I launched my podcast with nothing in 2018. No coaches, no courses, no help, just YouTube. I was a diehard Joe Rogan fan, then a Tim Ferriss fan as well. And I figured, hey, let me start this thing and see what happens. Turns out that if you just click record, there's nobody around to listen to it. You have to actually get out there and promote it. So what we always say is podcasting is 30% podcasting, 70% promotion. A lot of that time is going into the thumbnail on this video, the title of this video, the description of the video. Then we have the audio version over on Spotify and Apple. Then we have to promote it to our audience, right? We have an audience of about 15,000 total, and it's still a lot of work. Like, the work doesn't stop when it comes to promoting it, but that's one way to get started, is just the straight DIY approach. Because of the complexity of podcasting, but also the expense of hiring a consultant, a lot of people will go with the course route. So they'll buy some kind of online program. I've never taken one of these, but I guess they work. The problem is the numbers tell us that the completion rate, so the percentage of people completing online courses, is only between 5 and 15%. So if you're in the 5% of people that will drop $150 on a course, take it, use it, and actually do the thing, then more power to you. But for a lot of the people that I've spoken to, usually the course route just makes it even more overwhelming to start. Just to recap, you can go the full DIY. I'm talking YouTube, Google, just watching free things, free resources, or you can go with a course, but again, that's not going to be custom, and it's going to be pretty difficult to complete, as well as do the next thing, right? Because it's not custom to you. And then finally, we have the hired help option, which obviously is the most effective option because it's going to guarantee that you actually do the thing, but can be a little bit on the pricier side. At the end of the day, you get what you pay for. To record your podcast, I'll recommend this simple Amazon setup. It's got a mic, it's got headphones, it's got the pop filter that you need, it's got the stand. Don't overcomplicate it. Spend a couple $100 on the equipment, and obviously this isn't the free version, right? But I'm gonna get to that. Either way, in terms of equipment, buy the simple Amazon setup and just forget about it from there. Set it up and get started. If you're gonna do the video side like I'm doing right here, you're going to need something to record your video. You can use your phone, right? That's the free route, go for it. But if you're recording a longer form podcast, somebody texts you, calls you, now that's interrupted, right? So I suggest a webcam, even a 1080p webcam. This is one for folks watching on the video version. It's a Logitech C920. I believe it's about $100 on Amazon now. You can use that, or the 4K version is even better. The more you spend, the better it is. But I'll tell you this, the thing that nobody cares about is what equipment you're using. They only care about the quality of the production and what you're talking about. So invest for you and the audience, but don't be one of these people who's like, I got the best mic in the world. Dude, nobody cares. Okay? For recording your podcast, you can use Zencastr. Other alternatives to this are Riverside or even Zoom, but Zoom itself is not a recording platform. They'll even tell you that. Zencastr and Riverside are recording platforms, and guess what? They're free. They're free to try. If you want to get the features that come with the monthly plan or the yearly plan, you can do that, but you can try them for completely free. If you're going to record locally, like a solo episode like I'm doing here, like this, and there's no guests, then you can use a free program called Audacity. If you watch a 5 to 10 minute YouTube video on it, that's all you're gonna need. From there, you can learn how to edit, and that's only if you want to get into that, but I'm going to share some tools that are going to make your life way easier when it comes to the post-production of the podcast. If you want to ignore everything I just said and go the completely free route, 100% no cost, then this is it. Use your phone to record the video and the audio. The video is going to be okay, and the audio is going to be pretty terrible. Then go on Spotify for podcasters, just Google that, and that's going to allow you to distribute your podcast and even do some light editing. But again, the quality is not going to be there, just so you know. Your podcast is not going to stand out if you do it this way. But it will allow you to get your podcast out there, right? And then use free tools like CapCut to edit your videos. DaVinci Resolve is another great video editing program. But again, you're actually learning these things. This is going to take a lot of time, right? But this is the free version. So it's really just using your phone. Spotify for podcasters, we'll put it on all platforms. YouTube is free to upload. And then you can find other free editing softwares if you want. To wrap this whole thing up, $0 budgets equals $0 results. I'm not saying that if you don't spend any money, it's not going to be good. If you have 1 million followers already, and you go and make a podcast on your phone, people are going to watch and listen to that. But if you're starting at zero, spending no money is not going to help you actually get yourself out there, right? It's actually going to hurt you because most people are starting with very few resources. So the things that you can control that are not talent or skill-based are things you can spend money on, like cameras, microphones, lights, equipment, backdrops. All these things require no extra skill or talent. You don't have to know what you're doing at all. You just watch a YouTube video on how to set it up and you're good to go. So my advice would be, don't cheap out. You really do get what you pay for, especially with a podcast. And let's look at the reality of this, right? There's millions of podcasts out there, okay? There are very basic equipment setups for a few $100s. Just those alone are going to set you apart from probably already a couple million podcasts, right? It's already going to put you a level ahead because you're not using free generic music, because you're not using your phone, because you're using an actual microphone. These things are going to set you apart, especially when it comes to platforms that are so saturated, like social media. If you post a video of your podcast and it looks like it's recorded on a phone, how many people are really going to watch that, especially if you don't have the audience already? So again, $0 investment equals $0 results for most people, especially if you don't already have the audience built. I'm not trying to deter you. I'm just trying to give you the reality. So that is what we do. My name's Ryan from Podcast Principles. The first link that you're going to see in the description or show notes is to book a call with myself directly. I'll give you free 30 minutes of advice. So it's not just this video. It also extends to my business as well. We help people launch their podcast. I'd be happy to speak with you for 30 minutes. Fill out the quick form and we'll lock in. No strings attached. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch us next week for another one. Hit that subscribe button or the follow button, depending on which platform you're on, and I'll catch you on the next one.